Well, hi there, and welcome to Santa Monica, California. Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to Adventures of a Traveling Don, and our journey across the West series continues here in Los Angeles. This is our final day here, and if you watched my last video, you know that we ended at Santa Monica, and that is where we're going to begin this particular journey. I'm going to be taking you from Santa Monica Pier all the way down to the Venice Boardwalk and then back. So we're just going to explore this whole Santa Monica and Venice area and what you can do in a day here on the beach in Southern California. So starting off, we're here at the Santa Monica Pier, and this was initially built in 1909, but at that time, there was no pleasure park or any of these amenities. It was actually just kind of like a pier to help run the pipelines out to the water. However, they now have a pleasure pier. I think that started somewhere around the 1920s and continuously built up through the 60s. And of course, that's where you have the pleasure park, the amusement park, which we'll go to in a little bit later. It pretty much opens every day at about 11 a.m. or so, maybe on the weekends, maybe an hour earlier. Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic place. Whenever you're down here in Santa Monica, you gotta hit up the pier. I do highly recommend, though, try and come on the weekdays and non-holidays, because when we arrived here yesterday to film the end of the Asian food tour video that popped up last week, we arrived on a Sunday evening. It was packed. I mean, the beach was packed, the boardwalk was packed, the pier was packed. It's just, there was people everywhere. So if you're not into big crowds, or you at least want to be able to find a parking spot, make sure you come on the weekdays and non-holidays. But yeah, this is definitely the Santa Monica Pier, world famous, and we're just gonna go and check it out before we head down the boardwalk. So come on and enjoy it. So I grew up in Southern California, and for a while I lived out here in Mar Vista, Venice Beach. And I can tell you right now, coming up here at Santa Monica Boulevard brings back a lot of great memories. You know, in the background you can kind of far off hear some music going on. It's a great place to come and listen to like people just play live music. If you're a fisherman, you can come here and fish off the pier. You know, it's just a kind of a really cool spot. As crazy as it can get on the weekends, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, there is a reason why it's called sunny Southern California. You know, it's changed a lot, politics, everything like that, but there's still parts of it. You know, you're out here on the pier, you just enjoy this beautiful view of the beach. Just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's got a special place in the heart for me. So for those that have been watching my channel for a while, know that pretty much I try and stay pretty positive about things. However, when it does come to safety and certain safety tips, not just for myself, but for you guys, whenever you decide to come to these places or wherever you travel, something I want to kind of go over, because this happened to me, for me yesterday, before filming this, when we finished the LA food tour video, we came down here to Santa Monica to kind of do the outro, and we used the bathroom. Like, Santa Monica has a great public restroom system, because they have one on both sides of the pier, both the end and at the beginning, and it's really fantastic. However, you have to watch out for yourself, because when I went to use the restroom, and at the end when I went to go and flush the toilet, first and foremost, that lever to flush it, just kick it. Just kick it, or use your foot, and not a barefoot, but like a shoe, to flush whatever you got going on down. Because I ended up running into, there was some weird sticky substance that someone had coated on there, and I just barely tipped it with these couple fingers, but it started to like feel like fire and numbness, and it was really weird. So luckily, you know, as at the end, I didn't touch anything else. I washed it off and I hand sanitized the hell out of it just to kind of get it all off. But my friend Mia, who was with me, she was like, that might have been potentially one of those, what we call a date rape drug. You know, it's not just what they put in drinks or anything. There's like concoctions that they put, powder, sticky substances on doors, on handles and stuff, that if you end up ingesting it in any way, or if it lingers on your skin for too long, I think it just absorbs into your skin and it'll kind of like numb you out, maybe knock you out. So you gotta be careful with that. Even someone like myself, who I don't feel like I'm actually a target for, you know, for kidnappings and stuff, but even still, you could just run into someone who's also trying to get someone else, or just cause chaos. So as a safety tip, if you're using the restrooms here at Santa Monica Pier, or really anywhere else, just kick the flush. I was like, wow, that was a first for me. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you that quick safety tip. Now, back to the fun. All right, and as you can see, we have now made it down to the beach. We're technically still in Santa Monica Beach, which you can see the pier is behind me. And then we're almost a little over halfway to this Venice Boardwalk. I think from the pier in Santa Monica to the Venice Boardwalk is about roughly 1.5 miles to start off. And then you can continue down through the boardwalk of Venice. But yeah, it's not too long of a walk, maybe about half an hour, 35 minutes to kind of get down there, depending on how you're huffing. There also, of course, you can rent bikes. There's e-scooters. I'll show you a couple different places where you can rent a bike from. And those e-scooters are just kind of everywhere. You just kind of tap the app to it, get the app, and then connect it to like Google Pay or something like that. But you know, it's one of the longest stretches of beaches, I think, in the United States, because it goes all the way from Marina del Rey, which is way down there, all the way up as if you're trying to head towards Malibu, to I think it's Walter State Beach Park, and that is about 7.8 miles of uninterrupted beach, and I think boardwalks that walk all the way down as well. So you can spend an entire day just doing an entire thing across these beaches here in Southern California. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, this is the beach. We're gonna walk along and head to the Venice Boardwalk next. And when you're down here on the beach, just watch yourself. Those waves sometimes will come in a little fast. I was trying to get a nice fun shot, and then all of a sudden it came in a little too fast and got over my shoes, and now I have soggy socks. So we're gonna walk around for the rest of this video with soggy socks. Yay. All right, so behind me here is what is called Perry's Cafe and Bike Rental Shop. I think I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but this is kind of the place where you come to go and get the bikes or roller skates. You can also stop and grab lunch as well. They've got a nice menu, but they've got about 3 or 4 different shops from the Santa Monica Pier all the way down through the Venice Boardwalk. So you can, there's a few different spots that you can kind of pick up wherever you want. And I believe you can deliver the rental bikes from one place to the other. So say if you get the one down in Santa Monica, I think you can ride it to the one in Venice and drop it off there. I don't think there's an extra charge. I could be wrong. But if you're looking for a bike rental or roller skates to go down the boardwalk, this is the place that you want to come to. By the way, speaking of Perry's, I just stopped at one of their cafes here and I got myself a little snack. If you want something inexpensive along the route, they do, like, the stuff that they come out with is actually pretty big. Even the burritos that are like at like 14 bucks, rather large. But they have like their, what they call their Perry's famous Sicilian style hand-rolled pizza to make everything in store. But I mean, you just look at the size of this. For $5 for a pepperoni, it's actually not bad at all. You just look how deep that pizza is, how much cheese. Let me give it a try real quick. Just look at that. Oh man, that's actually really, really nice. It's not the craziest pizza or best pizza I've ever had, but it's got good flavor to it. And this will fill you up, you know, for about a couple hours or so. Yeah, and like I said, $5. All right, guys, and now we have made it down to Venice. So as you're coming down the boardwalk, you're going to hit Venice Ale House. Is going to be your first sign that's like, okay, we're now transferring Santa Monica into Venice. But great boardwalk. We're going to go ahead and walk down it. There is a spot just right down from the ale house. It's a store called Titanic. It's got t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, but there's like a Venice sign out front. You can go ahead and get that Instagram picture there. I think they have like a box for donations if you want to do that for you there. But yeah, welcome to Venice. So something to point out in the differences between Santa Monica and Venice. In Santa Monica Beach, most of like the main action is basically accumulated within the pier itself. Whereas when you come down to Venice, everything is spread out throughout the boardwalk. So it's just kind of something to think about when you're thinking of the time that you need. You know, the Santa Monica Pier, of course, has the amusement park, which can take up plenty of time. But outside of the pier, it's pretty much the beach and that part of the Santa Monica Boardwalk where you're either walking or you're biking, or again, you're on the beach. Here in Venice, the boardwalk is much more of an experience because there really isn't a big, you know, amusement park on a pier here in Venice, but the boardwalk is where it's all at. I'm going to show you guys the skate park in just a minute, and I'll show you, you know, we're getting down to close to like the Muscle Beach area. This is really the heart of Venice that I've just got into. But yeah, when you're in Venice, it's much more of the boardwalk experience, whereas in Santa Monica it's the pier. Something just to kind of think about when you're planning your trip out here. So anyway, let's continue on. So whether you are a skateboarder or not, I highly recommend coming here to the Venice Skate Park. It's really kind of cool. You get a bunch of different skateboarders just kind of having a good time. You get to watch the craft here. This was built in 2009 when a bunch of locals kind of like wanted their own spot here in Venice. And since then, you know, people from all over the world have come here, either rented a skateboard or brought their own skateboards just to do it here in Venice. I think even like several of the main big skateboarding stars over the years have made appearances here as well. But yeah, it's definitely just a unique thing to come and check out here in Venice Beach. All right, now the next spot of kind of like this heart of Venice is, of course, the famous Muscle Beach. And you can actually come here and I believe get a day pass. You have to go to the management office. It's like $10 for a day pass, but you can go in if you want and work out. But it is kind of, I don't know if there's any specific restrictions or anything like that, but they did say, the sign said it was $10 for a day pass. But, you know, it's just kind of another one of those parts of Venice. The original Muscle Beach, I think, actually was in Santa Monica Boardwalk, and it then moved here probably several years ago, because it's been here, in Venice as long as I've been coming down here, for probably 25 years or so. But yeah, this is basically where it all happens. And as you also have like tennis courts on one side, you have basketball courts on the other side. This is all kind of like the workout area. You add in the skate park. This is truly the heart of Venice. But yeah, definitely something to come and just check out. By the way, one tidbit: if you burn in any way whatsoever under the sun, even if it's not hot, like it's not really hot today, it's probably maybe 69 to 72 at best with a nice breeze. It doesn't feel warm, but there's not a lot of shade throughout the entire boardwalk from Santa Monica through here. So make sure, even if it's not hot, put that sunscreen on. I've got my second layer on right now. If I have any on there, it would be probably why. So, you know, SPF 50. I burn like hell, so I had to make sure I protect myself. But anyway, yeah, just make sure you wear sunscreen. So as you're coming down Venice Boulevard, you're going to eventually hit North Venice Boulevard and South Venice Boulevard. This is basically the border of where the residential district starts here in Venice. There are different rules once you get past that. You can still walk the boardwalk, but you know, you're starting to lose the shops, and now you're getting into more of the homes and the houses that are along the beach. But it's a nice walk, so you can still continue on. I recommend though, however, coming into the residential district and going either down North or South Venice Boulevard past Pacific Avenue, just a few blocks, where you'll eventually come across the Venice Canal walk. And so this is basically a residential area that they've man-made these canals that kind of run throughout several of these blocks. And it's just a kind of cool spot. Again, this is all private property off of here. This is all residential, so you know, be respectful and courteous of that. But it's a great place to come and get some pictures and just kind of like have a nice leisurely walk in this area. It's much quieter. Again, as I said, it's residential, but definitely check out the Venice Canals when you're here. It gives you almost a little bit of that feel of the true Venice in Italy. Not the architecture, of course, but just the fact that it has canals. It's really cool. So I have been walking almost close to about 7 miles so far. We still got a lot to go. But while you're in the Venice Canal district area, if you are hungry, come right down the street from Pacific Avenue and North Venice Boulevard. It's right on the corner here. It is called Plancha Tacos. I've never actually been here before, but they do a 3 taco plate for about 12 bucks. Comes with just a little bit of chips and some salsa. So we're gonna go ahead and try these. I got myself in plancha style, which of course adds a little cojita cheese, guacamole, and salsa roja on all of these tacos. So we're gonna go ahead and give these big bad boys a try. A little cilantro in there as well. And we're gonna start off with of course, the pastor. So geez, just look at that. The taco is so stuffed. My God, it's just dripping out the back end. Let's give it a try though. Oh my God. Okay. That's good, that guacamole. Nice mild spice to that salsa roja. It's a messy taco, but that is really, really good. All right, so I got all 3 of them. So you just saw the pastor. Now it's time for the grilled chicken breast. That's also really, really nice. Just look at that chicken right there. Pulled off really well. Very tender. That's good. All right, and now for the third one here, of course, the grilled steak. So a little skirt steak for you there. I'm gonna give this a try. Oh, that steak is very tender. Yeah, it's not really chewy at all. That's very, very nice. I have to say, I'm still an El Pastor man myself when it comes to street tacos, but all three were absolutely fantastic. So yeah, when you come here, go to Plancha and ask for the plancha style, which adds the guacamole and the cojita cheese and the salsa roja. It just kind of adds more flavor to all this. This is really good. Break time. My feet need a rest. I think I just clocked, I think on my fitness app, 11 miles so far today, between about 10:30 a.m. to it's now just about 4 p.m. So yeah, that walk from Santa Monica all the way down through Venice, through the canals, back all the way up, yeah. It's been a lot of exercise so far today, and we're not done yet, but I wanted to showcase this place that I'm staying at here, which is the hostel here in Santa Monica. It's called High Hostels, and I believe it is an international chain around the world. I think I've seen it a few different times before, but I've never stayed in one, and the one here in Santa Monica is really, really nice. I ended up getting a room that has a private ensuite, so there's several beds in there, so it's not a personal room, but they have the bathroom within the room itself instead of being a separate room, which some of the other dormitories have that set up. So it just kind of depends on what you want to pay for. It was about, I think for Sunday, which was a busier night, I got charged about 70 bucks. And then for the private ensuite for the bathroom, I think that was about 40 for Monday. So during the weekdays, it's a little bit cheaper, non-holidays, than it is on the weekends. But even still, it's a block away from the boardwalk here in Santa Monica. You're like 5 minutes from the pier itself. And then they have a lot of great amenities. You know, it's got vending machines, even a boba tea machine. It's got, of course, its own kitchen. They serve you breakfast, so breakfast is free. You know, it's like a bagel, oatmeal, banana or fruit or something like that, and some coffee. But it's something to get you going. And it's kind of cool because you can, like, with a full kitchen, you can go in there, buy your own groceries, bring them back, and cook your own meals. You just have to clean up after yourself. But it's a really, really nice hostel, good setup, great place to meet a lot of international people. I had breakfast this morning with some kid from Northern Ireland, so it's kind of really cool. But yeah, if you're in Santa Monica and you want like a budget-friendly place and you don't mind staying at hostels, whether it's a solo or group, try High Hostel here on 2nd Street in Santa Monica. Ooh, man, that rest really helped. So, but we're back out here in Santa Monica, and I thought I'd show you something a little bit off the beach. And this is here, the Santa Monica Promenade and Shopping Mall. And it's basically between Wilshire and I believe that is Colorado down there on the south side. But it's about a few blocks just worth of these fantastic store and shopping center. So you have a bunch of different restaurants. You have a lot of kind of like the brand name stuff, some of the more higher end. So if you think like Venice Beach and that whole boardwalk is kind of like getting like the cheap kind of souvenirs and stuff like that, this is if you want to do some like real kind of shopping. You know, you want to do Nike, Louis Vuitton, Sensation sunglasses, things like that, Puzzle Zoo. There's a lot of different shops down here on the promenade. So, but I definitely recommend, you know, particularly even if it's just to take a walk down, come on down, get some shots. It's done. The aesthetics is fantastic, and it's definitely worth a nice little visit when you're here in Santa Monica. Okay, so after all the shenanigans we've gotten up to today, I am hungry. Now, I know for you guys, it just seems like I had tacos, but from the moment I had tacos and from this point right now where I'm filming, it's been about 5 hours. And after the tacos, we added another 2.5 miles onto the leg. So I am very, very hungry. And I am here at my favorite place when I used to live here down in Venice and I come to Santa Monica. This is the Ye Old King's Head British pub. It's actually a pub, a restaurant, a bakery, and a gift shop. It's a massive complex. I think they've actually expanded. I don't remember the gift shop. It might have been around, but it's, I think, one of the most world famous and I think like the top 3 or 4 well-known British style pubs in the world, mainly because of its location. It's right here off of Santa Monica Boulevard and 2nd Street, and it's an awesome place. I mean, for being such a big operation, they do a great job, and it feels very, very homey, very like being back in London and just a regular small pub, given how big it is. But it's so cool. Like they do have, I do believe that they do afternoon tea, so a traditional style, British style afternoon tea. I think Monday through Saturday, like 11 to 4. But I come here for the dinner, so I'm waiting for my fish and chips. But in the meantime, I got myself a big ol' pint plus, little 20 ounce of Smithwick's Irish Red Ale. So cheers to you guys. That tastes so good after all of today. We still got some stuff to do. We're going back to the pier to showcase the amusement park now that's open, but oh, I needed that. All right, so my fish and chips has arrived, and there's 2 ways you can get it. You can either get it with 1 fillet or you can get it with 2 fillets. And it's actually not a bad deal given the size of this fish and chips. I mean, if you just look at that, it's probably a good 6 to 8 ounce fish right there, beer battered. I think for the one with the fries, it's about 18 bucks, and then it's like an additional $10, so it's like 28 for the 2. So if you can stomach the 2, it's fantastic. But I only really need the 1 because it's absolutely large piece of fish, very flaky batter on there. It's just absolutely fantastic. We can give this a try. Ooh, might be a little hot, so you'll watch that first bite. Oh my God. Yep, every time I come here, I get the fish and chips. They're so good. It's nothing too crazy, but it's just so simple, so delicious, flaky batter, and the fish is perfect. It's just, oh, I love this place so much. So when you guys come to the amusement park here at the Santa Monica Pier, if you want to ride the rides, you can go to the ride kiosk, and they either have one where you can just touch screen, or you can go up to the desk, and you can get a ride card here for you. It's reusable. I think it's like 40 bucks if you want unlimited rides. Otherwise, you can do individual rides as well. So that's kind of how it works, and as you can see, we're on the big old Ferris wheel. It's about 12 bucks for a single ride on that. So it is a little pricey, but it's a little cheaper than the Great Ferris Wheel in Seattle. So anyway, as you can see, we're going up. So if you guys can time it right, getting onto that Ferris wheel and getting up to the top in particular right in time for sunset like I just did, it's perfect, absolutely fantastic. You get the best kind of like shot of the pier with the mountains and the sunset in the background. It was awesome. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it in time, but I got there right on time. And then had this one young kid that I was riding, because you can't ride a single as a singular rider, so you usually have to join someone else. So I had this one like probably like 5 or 6 year old kid that was with his mom, and he was just like jabbering. You're good. It's funny. But yeah, no, it's if you can get around sunset time, try and time it just right, and it's absolutely fantastic. Alright guys, so that is going to be the end of our adventures here in Los Angeles, and of course the adventure here in Santa Monica and Venice Beach. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole kind of trek from the pier of Santa Monica all the way down through the Venice Boardwalk and the canals. It was a lot of fun. It was a long day, I can tell you that. I think I'm clocked right now at about 13.5, maybe 14 miles of walking today. Whew, my feet are going to feel it. Thankfully, I'm just moving from one place to the next for the next 2-3 days. I don't have to be on my feet all that much. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed all of that. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. I'm gonna leave everything I personally can in the descriptions as well. And of course, if you haven't already seen any of the other Journey Across the West videos, if this is the first one, go back to the playlist and check those out, particularly the one I shot before this, the Asian food tour around LA. You're coming to Los Angeles, you love Asian food, you're gonna wanna see that one as well. But guys, if you love the video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, and I will see you on the next adventure. Until then, peace out. Have a great night.